Hello everybody, welcome back to the Reaction Nexus. This will be the last video I do in this segment. I was going to do 4 more, but it's 4 o'clock in the morning and I am exhausted. I want to go to sleep. So we're going to do Mary's Blood, a Japanese band and a song called Marionette. I actually picked this one. It's going to sound odd. I don't like dolls. They scare the crap out of me. Like, dolls are some of the scariest things out there. I have an Annabelle doll right over there in the corner. But I actually like being scared. I like being terrified. I love horror games. Scarier the better. I love horror movies. Scarier the better. So, we're gonna react to this. I don't really know if it's gonna be scary. I just like the Marionette. In it, FYI, in the description will be a time slots, time tags. One of them is called System. It will be at the end of the video after I say goodbye, and it will be basically explaining how the channel works, explaining how the numbers work, explaining how I pick the bands I pick and why I pick them, and how you guys actually directly impact how I pick what I pick. So, if you're interested, check it out. If not, once I say goodbye, feel free to go. So, without further ado, let's get to the video, shall we? Alright, let me move this over here. Alright, Marionette by Mary's Blood, official music video. Let's get to it. I have a timer set for a minute. After a minute, I will pause the video, give some reactions, some reviews, some comments, press play again, and resume. I do this for many reasons. One involves blocking, one involves time flow. You'll understand that it actually works out pretty well. Most people who watch reaction channels, not most, but some people get this idea that you can't pause a video. It's like, no, you have to. It's illegal to upload a video that's not yours. The only thing that would be different if I don't pause would be my face is in the corner. So, we're going to get to it. In 3, 2, 1. You're not going to scare me. Good vocals, good instrumentation, good effects. I like the movement, the fact that they don't just stand still and play, they're actually moving around. That's pretty good. So far, so good. Let's keep going. 3, 2, 1. Unfortunately, without lyrics and without more of a video, it's literally just them playing. It's hard for me to know what they're actually singing about. But I can use extrapolation. The song is called Marionette. I'm guessing she's singing about being someone who is tired of being a puppet, tired of being used by other people. There are two reasons why I say that. Is because it's called Marionette, and because it's kind of a good rock and metal thing to do. But yeah, let's keep going. 3, 2, 1, go. Alright. I know it's bad to pause in the middle of the guitar solo, but I do have to make sure I get the pause in. Yeah, that's great hand movement, great sliding and everything like that. It's awesome. I love that. Very good guitar solo. Let's keep going, shall we? 3, 2, 1. One of the things I appreciate that is that there's things that translate language barriers, like emotion, and that's one thing that these girls are doing a good job at is showing their emotion through the through their movements and stuff and their facial expressions. Because if you're gonna sing a song in a language that, while Japanese is used often, it's not as big as like English. That's one thing you have to be good at is showing your emotion through body language. Because without that, you could be singing about soap, but with that, you could be singing about soap, and people will care, and that's what's happening here. She could be singing about a bar of soap, and I'm invested because she is showing me emotion, which is good. All right, let's keep going, shall we? 3, 2, 1. Review, shall we? And there's the doll. Alright, that was Mary's Blood with the song Marionette. That was pretty good. Again, it's hard to tell what they were singing about with the language barrier there. But whatever they were singing about, they really believed because the emotion on their face says it was. The emotion on their face also told me that it was a serious topic, so I'm assuming what they were singing about, what I said they were singing about, or might have been singing about, is pretty on point. So, yeah, that was pretty good. I can't think of what else I was gonna say. Oh yeah, I love that guitar solo. The guitar solo was really good. It was pretty sick. So without further ado, if you like, at the end of this video, and when I say goodbye, there'll be a part of the video called the system. The timestamp is in the description to let you know where it's at, like time frame wise. Um, and it will detail how this channel works, how this channel operates, and how I make the decisions on what content to release for this channel and how you guys impact it. So if you're interested, take a look over there. But regardless if you're interested or not, leave a like, comment down below, subscribe to receive more, ring the notification bell in the description will be a link to the original video, and I hope to see you all in the next video. Goodbye, everybody. Alright, everybody, this is the explanation video. It will be posted, it will be at the end of every video I upload this week. So, the way this is gonna work, okay? You guys don't know. I don't know if you guys have paid attention, but I upload 4 times a week, or 4 days a week. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday. Okay? On every day, I upload at noon, 3:15, 6:30, 9:45. So it has a 3 hour and 15 minute space in between each upload. Okay? If you've noticed, the bands at noon and 6:30 have been consistent, while the bands at 3:15 and 9:45 have fluctuated, and that's how it's going to work. So, the bands at noon and 6:30 are put into a pool, okay? Where after a week their numbers are locked, and I calculate them and I organize them based upon who's performed the best and who hasn't. The top 4 bands will move on to the next cycle. The next cycle, you won't. When I say next cycle, it's a cycle is 4 weeks. So the fourth 4 weeks roughly after the video air, the four after this week, you will see the results of the cycle. So, like I said, the bands at noon and 6:30 are put into a pool, to claim the 4 noon slots for the next cycle. For the next segment part of the cycle, right? Meanwhile, and by the way, it changes each week, right? So this week will affect the week that a week affect part of the cycle that happens 4 weeks from now, right? Next week will affect the cycle that part of the cycle that happens 4 weeks from now. So, and then the way it also works is the bands at 3:15 are all bands that have been selected from a list of artists that I have that are similar to the band at noon. I look up bands that are similar. If you have a recommendation for me, I put them on the list based upon the video you reacted to. And then at 9:45, the band at 9:45 is always based upon the band at 6:30. Does that make sense? I think it makes sense. So the band at 3:15 is always based upon the band that's at 12 noon. The band at 9:45 is always based upon the band that's at 6:30. But here's the kicker. So I told you that the 6:30 into noon bands all get put into a pool, and the top 4 move on, become in the next cycle, and become the top 4 bands, and then the 4 bands that represent the noon cycle. You're saying, so what about the 6:30 cycle? What happens to those bands? That is what I do to the 6:30 and noon bands, I do to the 3:15 and 9:45 bands. I put them in a group, and I keep them in a separate thing. And if the top 4 from that group moves on to the 6:30. So what happens is at noon, you will always see a band that is consistent, right? That is always performing well that is always doing well on this channel that you guys want to see and I want to see. At 3:15, you will always see a band that is similar to one of the noon bands that has been recommended to me because of the noon band, is on my list because of the noon band, but is always there because of them. And then at 6:30, you will always see a band that I have discovered through another group that has been given a bigger spotlight at 6:30. They've been given a second week, and normally the 6:30 is when they get their playlist, when they get their full representation on the channel as a band. And then at 9:45, same thing at 3:15, but for the 6:30. So at 9:45, the band at 9:45 will be similar to the 6:30. The way this all sums up, and it sounds crazy and it sounds odd, and I will post something that might help you guys better. I'll figure out something to post that might help you better. But the way to figure this all out, the way to summarize it, is your stuff matters. The way you can tell me if you want to see a band more, other than just telling me upright, is making sure you watch the videos, you like, you comment, and you share the videos so you can get other people to like and comment. If you really want, so this week, one of the bands I have is Anchor. They're coming in on Friday. If you really want Anchor to succeed and make it further onto this channel, your voice needs to be heard. I need to see views, I need to see likes, comments, all that. And I think that's how all channels work. But I'm giving you the ultimate. You have the steering wheel of this channel. That's the best way I can describe it. I know I described it in a long-winded way. I know you guys think I'm annoying. But, like I said, you don't have to watch this part. So, without further ado, that'll be the end of this part. This will be put at the end of every video that I upload from this week. Again, it's at the end, so you don't have to watch it. Till next time. Goodbye, everybody.